You are an advocate blogger, and you have the power of the sun behind you on everything you do. You're just amazing. You speak about taking care of your daughters who have ongoing health concerns. Could you go ahead and explain that to everyone who is meeting you for the first time?
Sure, sure. So I am a mom of twins. I have fraternal twins who are now 13 years old. I have teenagers. I can't believe it. But when my daughter I had them, they're fraternal, but when my daughters were born, we found out that one of them has a chronic genetic disorder, and that is sickle cell disease. She also, at the age of 6, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So she wears an insulin pump and also a CGM. So for those who are familiar with the autoimmune immune disease, type 1 diabetes, a CGM is a continuous glucose monitor. So that
Okay.
means that all day we are trying to monitor her blood glucose levels, which keeps her alive. So it's definitely a lot to take on as a caregiver. But what I have done, I have just joined online with other families who are sharing their stories and their experiences. And that's what I do. I share our experiences and I advocate for other families who are dealing with these type of illnesses and chronic conditions as a whole. I also have a homeschool podcast where I talk about that journey because the first 7 years of their education, I homeschooled them. And so I think it's really important for people who are interested in caregiving, interested in wellness, to know that even when you're taking care of somebody else, you have to take care of yourself too. So I'm an entrepreneur on top of all of that and a wife as well. And so it's not easy, but I've definitely been doing it and I love what
What
I
kind of
I'm happy to
advice
be
do you
here.
have for those of us that, because I'm a primary caregiver as well, but for the older members of my family. So, a lot of us are in that sandwich generation, taking care of the parents, the grandparents, and our children or other members of our family. What kind of advice do you have for us to make sure we have a cup to pour from?
I think, you're talking about the older members of your family, and I'm the youngest of five. My mom is actually 84, so I know that side of it too.
Wow.
And what I've learned is I have to be honest when I need time to breathe. I can't just act like I could just handle everything all at once because the truth is I can't. As much as I try to schedule things and I have a special watch that shows me alerts, like don't forget to give medication. So I use technology to help bridge those gaps, but even with all the technology, sometimes you still feel overwhelmed. And when I feel that way, I kind of just take a step back and I let those around me know I need a few minutes to breathe. And so when I talk about breathing, I'm literally talking about just that, taking a couple minutes to do some deep breaths. Because what happens is no matter where you are, that deep breathing from your diaphragm, if you take 10 deep breaths, it will help kind of refresh you in that moment. Because I don't know if everybody has been in a situation where you can feel the stress and the
Yes.
tension rising on the inside. You start getting hot, clammy. And when that happens, it happens to me too. I just take a few seconds to breathe deeply. And so I pause and I just take those deep breaths from my stomach through my mouth, and I try that. And that's really just one of the simplest things that you can do in the moment.